The Nintendo Switch 2 just released for kids, because if you're a serious gamer, you're not going to pick it up, because you're going to understand that this company can't compete with this company all the way at the end, and this company right here. Let's talk about this. Nintendo had their falling out a long time ago when they gave up on power. Well, actually, their business philosophy from the designer of Nintendo and from the very, very beginning was to never have the most power, but to have a lot of fun. That's why they give us cartoon characters, cartoon games that are literally designed for kids, and they can undercut and not invest business capital into hardware specs because kids don't give a rip about hardware. They just want fun. So I hope the Nintendo Switch 2 is very fun for you, because all it is the same games and same old stuff from Nintendo, no innovation that makes sense. Who cares about a magnetic Joy-Con or something that you can use as a mouse? It's ridiculous. If you're a serious or real gamer, you're not going to pick it up.
Oh god, where do I even begin with this? This sounds like an argument you would hear in high school from a child. All I can say is I obviously hope this is rage bait, but I'm going to address some of the stuff in this video. First, let's talk about innovation, shall we? So, Nintendo, that's their thing, if you didn't know. They innovate, and sometimes they take big risks, and sometimes that doesn't pay off, like the Wii U, but they're still always innovating. That's how their consoles are top 3 of most sold video game consoles of all time. They hold 2 places there, and the Switch, the most recent console from them, holds the number 3 most sold console of all time. And to whose surprise, it's an amazing console. It blew people's minds. It did something that's never been done before, something genius that people think, why didn't we think of that before? And that's what a lot of companies are doing now. They're thinking, oh shit, we need to jump on this market, like the Steam Deck and all these other handheld PCs. How is that not innovation? I'm so tired of people judging a console that's not even not out, but we know nothing about apart from leaks. It's cool to speculate and have ideas and share rumours around, but stating a console that we don't even know anything about and we don't know the key features that will define this console, any gimmicks or new mechanics it's going to bring into the gaming space, and we're already judging it and saying we're not going to buy it just because it looks like the original Switch. Despite literally everything being at least slightly different or upgraded. And again, we don't know what that C button does, and we don't know the full extent of what the Joy-Cons are capable of. If you want to talk about companies that can't innovate, let's talk about PlayStation. A company that's just put out a PlayStation Pro. With no differences, we cannot carry on lying to ourselves. What the hell? Why would you even buy this thing? If you're gonna say the Switch and Nintendo aren't innovative, you cannot claim that PlayStation is. And the same goes for Xbox. Why would you ever buy an Xbox? What new games can you play on Xbox? What exclusive games can you play on Xbox? What single reason, apart from your friends have an Xbox, are you going to put forward for the Xbox in terms of buying it over the PlayStation 5? Nintendo obviously had a really hard job and choice here with the Switch 2. The previous console before the Switch is the Wii U, and it was pretty much their biggest failure they've ever had. It struggled to have a close and tight-knit definition of what the Wii U did, what it was for, who's the target audience, what the Wii U gamepad was most of all, and with all of that confusion, it didn't sell well. Then you take the Switch, innovative, it works, everyone loves it, great game library. The Switch tablet, it's so clear what it does, it's built around switching around, playing multiplayer, being adaptable, it's so easy to understand, and it's a great product. So Nintendo have a tough job here. Do they create the Switch 2 where it's just very similar to the Switch? They can go that route and play it safe, but then they have to consider that, well, what is the reason of buying a Switch 2? You know, apart from games, what makes this console stand out? And we don't even know that yet, apart from this new button and Joy-Cons, and we still don't know anything about those. And there are more videos like this online saying the Switch 2 is just a Switch, it's the same console, it's just like a Apple move, you know, a simple upgrade and doesn't really feel like the next gen, especially because of the time gap between the original Switch release in 2017 and this new Switch 2 in presumably this year, 2025. But I think if there's any side Nintendo are leaning into, it's the safer side of making this console be recognizable, but also giving it some upgrades as well. Nintendo have just found themselves with an amazing console that's managed to make its way in the top 5 most sold consoles of all time. Of course they're going to make the Switch 2 associated with the Switch, and they're not going to risk it all and learn from their past mistakes of being too innovative to the point where they're just walking backwards. I think what is going to sell this console the most isn't necessarily the new technology or capabilities of the console, but the games that come with that, and Nintendo's way that they've always done of implementing new mechanics into new games and giving us a game library where people are going to look at this thing and say, you know what, these games are so much better than the Switch. These games are at least more exclusive, unlike Xbox that has none. These games are new and fun and exciting, and I just want to get a new console just for these new games. And obviously the handheld looks a lot stronger now, so I presume a lot of these games can run a lot more better now, because it is backwards compatible, but also newer games, you know, they can be scaled up more and have less limitations on them. And when it comes to games, we know Nintendo just doesn't stop. I mean, we're at the end of the Switch lifespan. I'm sure Nintendo won't say that, but let's be honest, we're going to all convert to the Switch 2 eventually. And they are still pumping out so many games for this thing, so many first-party, amazing games. And I think eventually this new console will definitely phase out the original Switch. If you look at the Game Boy Advance SP, for example, half of the Game Boy Advance total sales, half of those are from the SP, a device that really didn't do much in terms of evolution, but it was an upgrade, and new games continued to come out for both consoles, and so people bought the new one. So Nintendo wanting to capitalize off of their second best selling console of all time is a no-brainer, and people need to just shut the f*** up.